Thunderbirds are go.
Thunderbirds was one of the biggest shows of the 1960s, and the 1990s, and the 2000s. And yet, despite the many interviews that have been conducted with its cast and crew, the story of its production remains a slightly murky one. This is due to a decision early on in the production, when several episodes had already been shot to fill a 25-minute slot, to extend the series to 1 hour.
I took it to show Lou Grade. He remained silent, didn't say a word, and then the lights came up and he was silent for a moment, and my heart was thumping because I'd spent a fortune on this thing. And he walked all the way down the theatre to the screen, and then he turned round to face me and he said, "Jerry, this is not a television series." I thought the ground had opened up and I was going to be swallowed up. I was absolutely distraught. And then he walked all the way back and he wagged his finger right in front of my face and said, "Jerry, I'm telling you, this is not a television series." He then said, "Jerry, this is a feature film." So, of course, it was wonderful. Now, the thing is that he then said, "You'll have to make them 1 hour." I said, "But we shot 9 pictures as a half hour." He said, "I don't care, you'll have to make them as 1 hour."
And then there was the complications of then having to build the shows from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. So they had to write new scenes, reconstruct all the sets again, and off we go.
So began the story that is well known to this day, the story of how Thunderbirds was turned from half hour to 1 hour. But how exactly did they do this? And how do we make sense of the story when the official production order states that episode 14 was completed in May 1965, but episode 6 wasn't completed until November?
Because of the schedule, you had to keep shooting. So Jerry was busy trying to fill in these other halves with the writers, but you had to keep shooting episodes. If I remember rightly, they staggered the making of the first 9 editions, but you were shooting and prepping a new hour show while you were trying to shoot and pick up on the half-hour shows. But by the time they got round to scheduling the other half, you were probably shooting another episode, so you couldn't shoot it. One of the other directors directed the other half. So it was a very messy period, but I don't think any of them looked like they were padded to an hour. Nobody ever really noticed, I don't think, that they weren't an hour show in the first place. They were quite well done.
Over the next few weeks, we're going to try and piece together at least some of Thunderbirds' complicated production history, drawing upon not just interviews with cast and crew, but from material ranging from surviving scripts to footage from the original rushes. We'll also hopefully be aided with this discovery of film cans from AP Films, which have been locked away in a shed for over half a century. What exactly these cans contain is a bit of a mystery, but over the next few months we'll be getting them transferred to see what, if any, additional story they reveal. From initial inspection, some reels appear to contain completed episodes, some are a mystery, and others are answer prints. That's to say, the very first time all the elements have been put together on one watchable print. So, after the scripts had been written, the voices recorded.
You called, m'lady?
The models had been built, the puppets had been dressed, the episode had been shot, the picture had been edited, the music had been written and recorded.
1M2C, drums, take 1.
The sound effects recorded, the episode had been dubbed, mixed and had an initial colour grade, and the negative had been cut. An answer print would be supplied to the studio with picture and sound combined so that the crew could finally watch it and make any last adjustments before having the final prints made and distributed for transmission.
I sent the boys to bed. You never know when something might break.
Okay, Scott, but get some rest and take it easy. So long.
Good night, Dad.
These answer prints are therefore effectively the first version of these episodes to have existed. Whether they contain anything unusual is yet to be seen, but so far the canon leader information does offer some insights into what was happening at AP Films in 1965. In our next video, we'll be looking at Trapped in the Sky, the half-hour pilot that may actually always have been an hour. In the meantime, here's the very first clip we've had scanned in 4K, although please bear in mind that it'll be heavily compressed here. This was from a print in a can mysteriously labelled the Cham Cham, Jerry's Birmingham print. It had no titles on and hasn't been played in nearly 6 decades. It's one of the earliest, and perhaps the earliest, print of Thunderbird's first episode.
International rescue. If only I knew their secrets, I would be the wealthiest man in the world. And you, Kerano, my own brother, are in their midst. But because of your misguided loyalties, you refuse to help me. But I have a power over you that will make you speak. Soon you will be under my influence. Even though you are far away, you cannot escape me. Kerano! Kerano!